Welcome back to Smoke Signals. I'm Matt Montgomery along with head football coach Wayne Coleman. Fighting Indians get a huge win at Tomato Bowl in a rain-soaked game, delayed by lightning twice. Fighting Indians get the win 29-9, Coach. Great win. Weird way to win a ball game with all the rain and the lightning and stopping the game, but feels good to get that win.
It does, especially against White House. It's always nice to win a district game, but then it's really nice when it's against White House.
You go down 9-0, and the Lightning catches it with 59 seconds, and you're right there about to score, and you have to stop everything. And I know it's got to be a hard thing to get your team off the field and then get them back on the field, get set, get ready to go. But you came out and you had 29 unanswered points to win it 29-9. That was a great way to come back after the two delays.
Yeah, the first delay with 59 seconds left in the half, it appeared to stop, our momentum a little bit. We had a little 2-minute drive going there. We're trying to get the ball in the end zone there at the end. But actually what it did was it gave the coaching staff some time to go in there and go through a series of events of, okay, if we get this next first down, what do we want to do? If we get the next one, what do we want to do? Talk to the kids, remind them about burning the ball, with the balls in bounds and stop the clock. And so it was kind of inconvenient, but at the same time, it was nice just to get a chance to regroup.
And it took a little while to get. Well, it's hard to get rhythm when the game continues to be stopped, and then it would come down hard with the rain, and it would stop, and that affects your play calling. Are you going to throw? Are you going to run? Teams are still struggling to stop Cameron High in that zone read. That is still working. But the cool thing was, you got a touchdown pass there at the end of that first half. DeMontre Christopher comes through with a fade route. Beautiful throw, beautiful catch, and now you're only down 9-7.
Yeah, we actually happened to focus a lot on our red zone packages this week in practice, more so than we have in the past. We just felt like we weren't finishing drives in the red zone, so we spent some extra time on it, and we had a chance there with in that last minute of the first half to. Of course, you want to score on the first red zone play, but when you don't, you want to score on the second one, and you don't. But we had a series of plays there lined up for everything to work, and everything played out the way it did. And like you said, people are still trying to find ways to stop Cam.
It was 9-0 before the Christopher catch for the touchdown, and the team went in down 9-0 on that first lightning break. What happened in the locker room? I mean, did something happen emotionally, or did the kids, were they talking to each other? Because they kind of came out and White House was up 9-0, and it looked like, uh-oh, here we go again. But then when they came out after the lightning break, it was different. I mean, the team felt they seemed different emotionally.
Yeah, well, it was. We just had this feeling of the way we were driving the ball at the end. We had a feeling that we were fixing to push it in and get a score there, and so there was actually excitement in the locker room, a chance to go out. And when you get a chance to talk to the kids about, hey, we've got the ball here, we're fixing to go do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and you talk to them in the terms of this is fixing to happen, and that changes, your outlook on things. And nobody in the locker room talked about the score's 9-0.
Yeah.
Nobody talked about that. Everybody talked about what we're fixing to do. We're fixing to do this on the next play. If that doesn't work, we're going to do this on the next play. And the kids stay focused really well.
And that goes right into what you've been saying all year long, guys. It's the next play. It's the next play. Don't worry about it being a 9-0 score.
Yeah, sure. And because it's just the natural order of things. And it would be nice to score on the first down red zone play.
Sure.
I mean, the reason you have a second down play and a third down play and a fourth down play lined up is because things aren't always going to work perfect. You're going to get penalties at the wrong time. Things are just going to. And you're going to have to be prepared and have a plan for what's coming up next.
And having a plan was hard in a game like this. I mean, the game management of it was that you as a coaching staff, you guys, there's no halftime. There's no time to go in and you took 3 minutes off. You come right back because you pretty much already had your halftime with 59 seconds to go. So you come out and, man, you guys it was like just took over. And there was a point in the game, Coach, where it looked like, I think it was toward the end of the third quarter where it looked like White House says we're whipped. I know you guys didn't feel that way, but from us watching the game, you could see it in their eyes almost on the field.
Yeah, and the weather, took a lot of their offense away from them because they like to throw the football, and it's going to get in a kid's head that the weather is changing the way that we want to play. And really the weather play helped our kids' attitude of we want to run the ball anyway. So it was just helping us, and I think it was hurting them.
Well, it was a real physical ball game, just like the last week. Several players coming and going, leaving the game, and I think that in the end, your team just looked physically stronger than White House did. And I don't know if that's so much of their emotional level went down because, as you said, they couldn't do what they wanted to do. But
right.
You know, Coach, even when they did it, the pass defense was much improved this past week.
It was, and we went in with a different philosophy this week. We wanted to keep everything in front of us, play a lot more zone, and of course the weather forecast played into a lot of that. I mean, everybody knew it was going to be a wet weekend, and so that, you know, it was just I hate to use that word, the perfect storm.
Well, yeah, but it definitely was in more ways than one. 281 yards rushing for Cameron High. He pushes him over 1,300 yards, and man, who would have thought that that your leading rusher would have been Cameron High going into the season? But I think you knew how well he could run the zone read. It had to develop and come on. But what a great job your offensive line did. And I'm going to tell you, some of the blocking coming out of the backfield and kicking out those defensive ends, and the ball fakes too, Coach, were really good. I thought that some of the guys came in. I thought D. Spencer did a great job on some of his ball fakes. I mean, he really looked like he had the ball a couple of times.
Yeah.
And so did Wuda.
Yeah.
And I think that helps Cam turn that edge.
Yeah, no doubt. And
they sell it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's all, what's the best part of it is you can do that without turning the football over. And now you're playing with a wet football, and you're not turning the football over. And we told the kids after the game, all those morning practices when we go down the hill at 7:30, and the grass has always got the dew on it.
Yes.
And we're always playing with wet footballs. That came into play Friday night. Our kids were used to playing.
We had 399 yards of total offense, so the offense continues to click. Defense, as I said, performed much better. And but there were several highlights in the ballgame. Let's take a look at those right now. Jacksonville versus White House last week. This is Tanner Roach, the White House quarterback, to start this off. Had some trouble here.
Yeah, the kids did a great job of putting pressure on him Friday night. I think we had several sacks. Probably our best game this year as far as putting pressure on the quarterback.
Here's Roach again. It looks like he's fixing to be introduced to Mr. Tatum.
Yeah, great pursuit angle there by Dedrick. He took a bad angle earlier in the game, but he fixed it right there.
So here's a direct snap to Shemar Smith. No, actually, with the quarterback handing off and with a touchdown run coming right at you there.
Yeah.
That's a guy you don't want to see in space. But that was about it for them as far as running the ball. That was it. There's some pressure here as the Indians get in block this extra point.
Yeah. Good job there. Edwards has done a great job all year of going in and trying to get pressure on the kicks.
I think Josh McDowell ended up with this little rugby scrum. Of course, you had the 2-point run back last week against Nacogdoches, so hey, you got to keep playing. Here's the touchdown pass to DeMontre Christopher from Cameron High.
Yep, and I can't tell you how many times we've practiced that, and finally we get to see it pay off in the game.
Great concentration by DeMontre and a perfectly thrown ball by Cam High. And here's a sack. Terrence Silman doing what he's done so well this year. Gets Roach.
Yeah, Terrence, very athletic, did a great job of chasing the quarterback down there.
And here comes a tremendous burst up the middle by Wuda. 35 yards for the touchdown. Nobody saw this coming. He just pops up there and he's gone.
Yeah, great to see him get loose there finally. We do so many ball fakes to him to set up Cam's run, and but that time the defense was looking for Cam, and Wuda made him pay.
And coming up as a play where this blocking I was talking about coming out of the backfield and some of the key blocks that happened. There's one right there, a little screen block there, but I think that was Cash Cleaver who got the 12-yard run for Cam High to top it off, and Jacksonville comes away with a 29-9 win over White House. The first time Jacksonville's beat White House since 2005, and it's a great way to do it in district play especially. And Coach, it's kind of an unusual week. John Tyler is playing Monday against Corsicana, so that pushes the Fighting Indian game to Saturday at 1:30. What can you tell our listeners and viewers here a little bit about what went behind that? There's some UIL stuff involved there.
Sure. The UIL has a rule which says you can't play football contests 5 days within each other. So when their game got pushed back to Monday, that meant they couldn't play on Friday because they wouldn't get a full 5-day rest.
Okay.
So it's just to protect the kids from getting beat up too much without enough rest in between games. So once their game got pushed back to Monday, there wasn't anything we could do about it. The UIL said the game had to be pushed to at least Saturday.
Okay, so it's a 1:30 kickoff, and it's the first day game Jacksonville's played since 2009 when they had a playoff game at SFA versus Texas High. Those day games are kind of different, kind of fun. I know when coaching at Gilmer all those years, you guys always played in the afternoons on those playoff games, but this is going to be a different kind of venue. It's at Rose Stadium. John Tyler. I mean, they're the district king right now. They beat Ennis. They beat Lufkin. This is a team that is dangerous in all aspects. Started off 0-3, but boy, they have really come on in District 16-5A.
Yeah, they have. They're very talented. They've been in some close ball games. People have played with them, but they always seem to find a way to pull it out at the end. The quarterback is a very special athlete, really hard to tackle, great speed, tough in open space. So we're going to have to be really disciplined trying to contain him.
And they have a great receiver, Damian Miller, who's a University of Texas commitment. And I think they have like a bevy of guys that run the ball. They've made some changes early in the year. I think Rickland Holmes, the head coach, after the 0-3 start, changed some things around, made some moves. Defensively, it starts up front. They have two big dogs up front.
Yeah, they're good. We'll be challenged this week. But, our kids have just gotten better every week. And, we've got such a good attitude right now that I think we're just going to look at this as maybe our playoff atmosphere on a Saturday afternoon, playing the district champions. You're going to be playing a really quality opponent. So it'd be a chance for our kids to see how far they've come this year.
And couldn't be a better time to get John Tyler at this point, coming off this win against White House, confidence levels high. You did some things that John Tyler's going to have to defend defensively. Yeah. And so, the kids, as you said, the confidence level's high right now.
Yeah, it is. And what we want to see is Cam getting loose in the secondary against Lindale and against White House turned into really big plays. Their secondary wasn't as athletic as some other schools. But when he got in the secondary against Nacogdoches, where they had the Division I players, some of those long runs got shortened, but that we're going to ask our receivers really to make some key blocks down the field. If we can get everybody to on the same page and get everybody blocking, our O-line has done just a great job this year.
Yeah.
If we can get some cats blocking downfield, I think we can still do some stuff.
Offensively, you mentioned JT quarterback. I think it's Bryson Smith. He's a really good player. They run the spread offense, but with him back there, it's a bit like back to the days when they had Greg Ward back there, who's starting at the University of Houston now. He can do a lot of things like that. Well,
the best football play in the world is the quarterback scramble. You can't draw a defense up to defend it because you don't know where the ball's going, because the offense doesn't know where the ball's going. And that's the deal with him, is when he gets back there, if you play perfect coverage, then that means he's probably pulling the ball down and taking off with it. So our outside linebackers are going to have to be really good at coming off their zone coverages and containing the quarterback.
How well do you think you'll be able to possibly throw the ball against? You really hadn't had to do that much against the other teams previous to John Tyler because of the success you've had running the zone read and running the ball. Will that still be your MO this week, just trying to run the ball and just keep it away from John Tyler, or do you see them stepping up and maybe keying on him and keying on Cam and making you throw?
Yeah, we've got to keep working on the passing game. We're not getting enough mileage out of our play action game. We missed some passes the other night we should have hit. We got to keep working on it.
Coach, to me, just watching the last 2 weeks, the Nacogdoches game was really very physical, and it looked like last week your team was more physical than White House. You just took over in the second half. This week's going to be more of a challenge, I know, but I know at this point in the season, given the record where it is, you really like to see what your team's doing right now. I know you're pleased with that.
Yeah, you don't see very many teams that are in our situation that are still playing with this kind of enthusiasm, intensity. I'm really proud of the kids.
Keys to the game this week against John Tyler?
Yeah, keep doing what we do, run the football, and try to stop the big play on defense, and keep that receiver and that quarterback in check.
Well, it's Jacksonville versus John Tyler at Rose Stadium this Saturday at 1:30. We'll be on the air at 1 o'clock on 103.9. Kickoff again 1:30 at Rose Stadium. For head coach Wayne Coleman, I'm Matt Montgomery. We'll see you next time right here on Smoke Signals.